Welcome back to our channel, The Research Guild. Today, we're on a mission to seriously level up our analysis skills. But don't worry, we are skipping the boring textbook stuff. Instead, we're diving headfirst into a real-world, super relatable example that I like to call the Great Canteen Debate.
So, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with a controversy, figure out who's actually involved, and then try to understand their different points of view. After that, I'm going to give you a mission, and I'll even give you the tools you need to pull it off. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll be thinking just like a pro researcher. Ready? Let's get into it.
All right, first things first, we need to set the stage. You know, every great investigation, every great analysis, it all starts with a really good question, a problem that just needs to be explored. And here it is. Think about it. Burgers, fries, all those sugary drinks. Should they just be totally banned from school? Now hold on. Before you jump in with a quick answer, just take a second. What's your gut reaction here? Is it a huge yes or a hard no way? This is exactly the kind of topic where pretty much everyone has a strong opinion right off the bat. This right here, this is where we switch our brains into researcher mode. It's totally okay to have that first gut reaction. You know, yes, ban it, or no, save the burgers. But to be a real analyst, we have to learn to push past our own opinion and look at the bigger picture. We have to start asking questions like a detective. Who does this decision actually affect? What are all the different reasons people might have? And the big one, how do we find out what they really think?
And that question, who does this affect? That leads us perfectly into our next section, and the very first tool in our analysis toolkit. It's all about figuring out who has a stake in the game. So here's the bottom line. You just can't truly understand a problem until you know all the different people who actually care about the outcome. We're talking about the people who are involved, whether it's directly or indirectly. And there's an official word for these people, stakeholder. A stakeholder is basically anyone with a vested interest. And why do they have an interest? Because whatever decision is made, it's going to affect them somehow. These are the people we need to investigate. So, for our canteen debate, let's think. Who are they? Well, the students, obviously. They're the ones eating the food. Then you've got the parents, who are probably worried about their kids' health. What about the canteen staff? Their jobs could totally change depending on the menu. And teachers, who have to deal with student energy levels right after lunch. Oh, and the food supplier. Their whole business could depend on what the school buys. And of course, the school principal, who's responsible for pretty much everyone. See? They all have a stake. Okay, so we've identified our stakeholders. We have our list of people, but just knowing who they are, well, that's only step one. The next step is to really dig in and figure out what they're all thinking. It's time to understand their different perspectives. Let's start with the student. Let's try to see it from their perspective. For them, it might be all about enjoyment, right? Having fun, getting a break from the usual stuff. For them, Burger Day is a highlight, something that makes school better. It's not just about the food, it's the whole experience. And now, let's flip the coin. Check out this parent's perspective. They're looking at the long-term picture, health, nutrition, the habits their kid is learning for life. And you can see the problem right away, can't you? The very thing that makes a student super happy might be the exact thing that makes a parent really worried. These are competing perspectives, and that's what makes this interesting.
So we have all these different people with different, sometimes clashing views. How on earth do we figure out what they all think in an organized way? Well, that brings us to your mission. Should you choose to accept it?
The secret weapon? You use a questionnaire. This is one of the most powerful tools a researcher has in their toolkit. It takes all the guesswork out of the equation. It's not about assuming what people think, it's about collecting actual, real data straight from the source. And here's your simple 4-step plan. First, define your goal. Who are you trying to understand? The students, the parents? Just pick one group to start. Second, design your questions, and we'll get to how to do that in just a second. Third, go gather your responses. And finally, step 4, analyze the results. You're looking for patterns, trying to see what the majority thinks. This is how you turn a bunch of opinions into solid data.
All right, now for what is maybe the most important part of this whole thing. I'm serious, because the quality of your entire analysis depends completely on the quality of your questions. Let's learn how to design really great ones.
This is so important. Okay, look at the one on the left. That's a leading question. See how it's phrased? Don't you agree? It's basically telling you how to answer. It's pushing you towards saying yes. That's biased and it's bad for research. Now look at the good question on the right. To what extent do you agree? See the difference? This one opens the door for any answer. You could strongly agree, strongly disagree, or be somewhere in the middle. It lets people give their honest opinion, and that's what we want.
So to help you get started, here's a little sample questionnaire. Question 1 is a simple yes-no. It helps you see if the person you're asking is even in the right group to begin with. Question 2 uses a scale from 1 to 5. This is awesome for getting answers that aren't just good or bad. And question 3 includes a maybe option, because you know what? Sometimes people just don't have a strong opinion, and that's okay. These questions are simple, they're neutral, and they're super effective. And there you have it, the basic toolkit for analysis. You now know how to find stakeholders, how to understand their different perspectives, and how to gather what they think using a well-designed questionnaire. You're not just giving a simple answer anymore, you're actually thinking like a researcher. So the only question left is, what are you curious about? What will you investigate next? Now, to really practice these skills, check out the worksheets we've made for this lesson. The link is right there for you in the description. And hey, if you found this helpful, let us know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next explainer.